Hello again. Welcome to This is Walu Now Forget About It, Volume 9. Tonight we're going to be looking at a couple of factors that I'm taking from the first Walu form. One thing I want to stress in tonight's chapter is that you need to get out of the way of the line of projection as quickly as possible. And in order to do that, in this particular part of the form, I'm using a sledging step which draws me to the side. That's followed by a vortex and then the lower whipping wing arm that you see there. A couple of things to note also is that I want to get a mind hit or a source of pain on the opponent as quickly as possible in order to hopefully take them out of their game and set up something else. As all the time when I do these films, I'll see things later that I know I'm doing wrong, but that's just the nature of the game. It's only been 40 years now. Surely I could do better than this. However, one thing you'll see me do from time to time is to alter my body so that I'm leaning forward in anticipation of the attack. This is just a natural thing that I've come to do, and it's something that I constantly have to adjust when I'm practicing and when I'm doing the forms and so forth. Something you'll see George do as he attacks is he'll lead with his body and then the punch will come along. And that's completely normal when you're working together. It helps each other to have a good communication of what you're trying to show. Anybody can make the greatest master look like a fool if they don't cooperate or try to be tricky. But that's not what we're doing here. You'll notice that as I get George in several of these positions, we could go either way with the finishing move depending on how his body is going. One thing I've already pointed out that I talked right through is that you need to take these things from just any particular stance, not a fighting stance, but just something that you're standing there talking. Always be prepared to move. Try to have the best Chinese boxing body state that you possibly can have just through training. Right now I'm showing that George has overran me. His energy is a little bit strong, and I'm not trying to stand there, but I'm just moving, covering, trying to keep my vital targets as much covered as I can as he comes through. I don't like to spin, but sometimes it's necessary. You can see there I'm working on the footwork that's going to position me for the next move. It could be possible, it could not be possible. It just depends on how he comes at me, how much energy he's got. A lot of times it's easier to work with someone who's much more committed than someone who can easily change. In that situation, you know, the smart bomb is always something that you'd have to watch out for. Going from the outside to a much better position for striking to the inside and then to the elbow, which is pretty much close to the move that you do find in the first Walu form. You can see that once again many of his joints are close to being overextended, and that could be attacked if you're in the position to do so. Later on in the form, first form and in the second form, there's knees and so forth. You don't want to leave out anything because you say, well, that's not in the form, and you don't want to put anything crazy in if you're trying to demonstrate something that is in the form. Now George here has not succumbed to the vicious attacks I put upon him, and he's going to single leg dive me after we've done some of these strikes. Either he's very well trained or that's his last option that he's aware of. And I'm showing here the way that the foot must step out without telecommunication or without letting him see any type of preconceived movement. If I have to load into that foot before I move it, then in that situation there's trouble. Alright, thanks. I hope you enjoyed this, and we will see you on our next video.